Hello, and welcome to part one of three of the first episode reviews for the anime season Spring 2015. In this part, I will be reviewing three anime: Gunslinger Shrouds by A1 Pictures, Arrow no Seraph by Wit Studios, and Plastic Memories by Dogo Kabo. All aired on April the 4th, and I will be reviewing them. I'll be reviewing episode 1 and telling you if they're worth watching. So let's get started with Gunslinger's Shrouds. Gunslinger Shrouds is done by A1 Pictures and it looks like shit. Let's get that out of the way first. This is made by a picture that made Sword Art Online, which, despite having problems with its plot and its characters, looked fucking gorgeous in the fight scenes. So why does Gunslinger Shrouds, which has less of a plot than Sword Art Online and even worse characters, look complete and utter shit? Because I can't even look at this anime and enjoy it. Because it looks like something that was made in 2005, and that's in the best of times. But it gets worse. The characters so far we've met four. Two of them have only been in it for about 10 minutes, and we can't really give a judge. But the two main characters, a male with blue hair and a female with pink hair, because I cannot remember their names, are forgettable at the best and awful at the worst. The writing is amateur at best. There's a scene where he said, "I am a sheep. I hope I can be the fluffiest," where I was literally face palming the entire way through because that. How amateur can you get? What does that even mean? They make references to Spirited Away, which is a far better anime movie and you should be watching. You should watch that if you haven't instead of this. And there's not much I can say without spoiling stuff, so spoilers from here on out for the first bit of the good shows. Okay, so it's set in the future, I think, or a parallel 2015 where corporations have taken over. This was explained well, mainly just by the main character telling us this, but still was interesting to know. He keeps having dreams of this little sister, which we get no idea who she is yet, and he sees her one day in the streets and decides to chase after her through the zone where people are disappearing. And then he disappears into the sky and falls down on a parallel 2015. And people are fighting and it looks okay. The fight scenes aren't particularly gorgeous, but they're passable at best, which for A1 Entertainment means, A1 Pictures means awful. And then he gets shot by a guy and he shoots back, and at the end of the episode he turns and goes, "I'm you," and it's all like, and what's gonna happen next? And no one cares because you've not developed anything. The story is non-existent. The characters are so poor. It's a contender for the worst looking anime of 2015 already. And from A1 Pictures, that's very sad. But it gets worse because General Ibuchi, the creator of Madoka Magica Fate Zero, a Psychopath's name on this. Well, now we know what any anime that has General Ibuchi's name on, and he hasn't written, not to watch, because this is as bad as Psychopath 2 and the other one. So, completely skippable, contender for worst anime of 2015 so far. Final score of the first episode of Gunslinger Shrouds, D. Bad. But let's move on to Oro Nasrath. Is it better? Well, let's go and see. Oro Nasrath, also known as Seraph of the End, is done by Wit Studios, who did Attack on Titan and The Rolling Girls earlier this year, but everyone knows Attack on Titan, so we're just going to say that. And the writer also did a few works on Attack on Titan. It shows this anime is very similar to Attack on Titan, except it doesn't contain giant giant creatures of death. It instead contains vampires. Yeah, it's interesting at best. I mean, the world is brilliantly done. The animation looks great. It actually looks like it was done in 2015, but I did watch this straight after Gunslinger Shrouds, not anything that looked decent, so take that with a pinch of salt. And the characters are a lot more interesting. However, spoiler, 90% of them are taken out by the end of the first episode, and only one character we know remains. So, yeah, don't get attacked like Attack on Titan. But the main character is interesting. He's now outside of his environment, and it's going to be a tale of him climbing back up and killing all the vampires. My only concern with that is I feel like we're going to be going a fairy tale and Naruto route, and maybe this will be a shonen. I hope it doesn't. I really hope it's a maybe 1 season to 3 season deal, and then we can end this with a plot. But so far it seems to be a typical shonen, got to kill them all kind of thing. But I'm interested in it. The main character at least is great, and he's got a great voice actor behind him. But don't get attached to characters, because you will cry, or at least be upset, like I was when Miko died. Spoiler, Miko dies. The vampires are at least interesting. They're not kill vampires, but they're not Twilight bad. They're more corporate vampires. They have this entire world and they're taking people's blood and then letting them live, which is funny at the best. Funny when you think about it. Not much else to say. The start of this animation, oh god, the start, I was blown away, because the plot is that all of humanity is wiped out except children under the age of 15 who are immune to the virus. The start, everyone dies. You see it all. You see people coughing up blood. You see people getting blown up and planes falling out. It's so good. And then the vampires come and ruin everything. But it's so interesting. I want to know where this anime goes. And the first episode, it's got action, it's got great characters, and it surprises you. So if you've not seen this anime yet, why haven't you? It's going to be the anime of 2015. That's my prediction. It shouldn't be. That should be another anime. But this anime is going to be the big one in 2015. So for that, I'm going to give it a B-. Good. Plastic Memories is done by Dogo Kobo, who, if you haven't heard, well, don't worry, no one else has. They've done a few slice of life shows and parody shows, but nothing major. And this anime blew me away. I mean, while I said Orif Nasafu blew me away, I at least had expectations for this. This I knew nothing about. I came in not knowing what it was, and by the end I was in tears. It is an emotional, heartfelt anime done by a brilliant creator who, after this, I hope he gets a lot more work, because this is a completely original idea according to Wikipedia. The plot, the idea is that it's the future and these robots that have synthetic souls exist, but they are only alive for 9 years and a half. And then they are taken away and destroyed. Yeah, that's sad. And in this anime, and then these collectors come, which is what the main character is now part of, and take them away from their families, and then they are destroyed, their memories are deleted and whatever. Oh my god, that's a brilliant idea. And in the first episode, we see a grandma and her robot daughter, who's got to be taken away, and she does not want this. The robot daughter is like, the robot daughter is fine with it in the end, but the grandma is like, fuck you, you're not taking my daughter, because she's the only thing I have left. And I'm like, oh god, this is really sad. And by the end, when you see them crying, it's emotional. And this anime really pulls your heartstrings. The main character and his robots, because a human has to work with a robot. The human, because robot knows, the robot and the human knows. It's so good. It's so good. The human and robot so far are working well together. The robots look like humans, by the way, so don't put that. But the human and robot work so well together. You've seen the picture at the start of this. It's not a love story, as far as I know. It's more of a comedy than a love story, and it is, although it has its heartfelt moments, at the end it is just a comedy, and it's got quite a lot of good jokes. This should be the anime 2015. After just one episode, I am sold. If you want a heartfelt anime that will make you sad, make you cry, and probably have a great plot at the end of it, this is the anime for you. I can't talk much about anything else. The animation is passable at best. The studio haven't done much, so yeah, they're not very good at the animation, but it's better than Gunslinger shows. It's on par with Seraph at the end. So what do I rate this anime? I'm going to give it an A. Legendary, because it's a legendary star. If you have not watched this anime yet, watch it. All these anime are currently available on Crunchyroll, so if you haven't checked them out, and thanks for sticking to the end, and if you like this, please subscribe, because coming soon we've got 3 more anime to talk about. Until then, thanks for watching.